In the year 1645, inside the dimly lit Regondo cave in Kumamoto, an old man sat alone. He was not resting, he was dying. The man was Miyamoto Musashi, the undefeated sword saint of Japan. He had fought over 60 life-or-death duels, survived open warfare, and humiliated the greatest martial arts schools of his era. Yet, as thoracic cancer ate away at his body, he did not seek comfort. He did not ask for pity. Instead, he picked up a brush and began to write. He was preparing for his final battle. This battle was not against a rival swordsman or a feudal lord. It was a battle against the human condition itself. In his final days, Musashi wrote the Doko-do, or the Path of Aloneness. It was a list of 21 precepts, a manifesto of absolute self-reliance and mental iron. He wrote it to destroy the last remnants of weakness within his own spirit before he passed into the void. Most people today view Musashi as merely a warrior, a man of violence. This is a shallow interpretation. Musashi was a master of the mind. He understood that the sword was only a tool. The true weapon was the psyche. If the mind faltered, the sword would miss. If the spirit hesitated, the body would die. To achieve what he called the unshaken mind, one had to ruthlessly eliminate every psychological crutch that human beings rely on. We live in an age of fragility. We are conditioned to seek safety, validation, and comfort. When a crisis strikes, a lost career, a broken relationship, a financial collapse, we crumble, we panic, we look for someone to blame or someone to save us. This is the weakness within. It is the dependency on the external world to dictate our internal state. Musashi offers a different path, a harder path, the path of the solitary warrior who walks through the fire without being burned. To understand how to destroy this weakness, we must first understand the state of mind Musashi operated in. He called it Heijo Shin. This translates roughly to everyday mind or normal mind. It is a concept that seems paradoxical. How can one have a normal mind in the heat of a sword fight, where one mistake means instant death? That is exactly the point. Musashi taught that there should be no difference between your mind in a duel and your mind when you are sipping tea. If you elevate the stakes in your head, you create anxiety. If you tell yourself that this moment is critical, that you cannot fail, you introduce tension. Tension is the enemy of speed. Tension is the enemy of clarity. When the mind treats a crisis as a catastrophe, it freezes. The warrior cultivates Heijo Shin by treating the battlefield as if it were his living room. He brings his everyday calm into the chaos. Conversely, in his daily life, he maintains a level of alertness and discipline as if he were on the battlefield. By leveling these two states, nothing surprises him, nothing shakes him. When the sword swings down, he does not flinch because he has already accepted the reality of the situation. This is the first step in destroying your weakness. You must stop classifying events as disasters. When you lose your job, your heart rate spikes, your thoughts race, and you envision a dark future. You have lost your Heijo Shin. You have allowed the external event to disturb your internal equilibrium. The student of Musashi observes the event clearly. The job is gone. That is a fact. The panic is an interpretation. The warrior accepts the fact and discards the panic, allowing him to act immediately and decisively. But how does one achieve this stability? It requires the removal of what Musashi called stops in the mind. In Zen, this is often referred to as mu-shin, or no mind. It does not mean a mind that is empty or stupid. It means a mind that does not fixate. Imagine your mind is a flowing river. If you put a rock in the river, the water hits it and swirls around it. The flow is disturbed. In the mind, these rocks are your attachments.
You attach to your ego. You attach to your anger. You attach to your desire for a specific outcome. When your mind hits these attachments, it stops. In a duel, if your mind stops on the thought of your enemy's sword, you are too slow. You die. In modern life, your mind stops constantly. You dwell on an insult someone said to you yesterday. You obsess over a mistake you made last year. You fantasize about a success you haven't earned yet. These are all stops. They freeze your flow. A mind that is stopping is a weak mind. It is easily manipulated and easily broken. Musashi's solution in the Dokodo is radical acceptance and absolute detachment. One of his most famous precepts is, do not regret what you have done. This is not an excuse for immoral behavior. It is a tactical instruction for mental dominance. Regret is a ghost. It is a fixation on a past that cannot be changed. When you regret, you are not present. You are looking backward while the enemy is charging you from the front.
To destroy weakness, you must train yourself to cut off the past the moment it happens. If you fail, you note the lesson and you move on instantly. There is no wallowing. There is no self-pity. Self-pity is a luxury the warrior cannot afford. It is a heavy armor that protects nothing and only weighs you down. Another profound precept from the Dokodo is, do not seek pleasure for its own sake. This is a direct attack on our modern dopamine addiction. We are a society that medicates itself with distraction. We eat when we are not hungry. We scroll when we are not looking for information. We seek comfort to escape the silence of our own minds. Musashi lived a life of austerity, not because he was a masochist, but because he knew that comfort breeds softness. If you require a soft bed, a full belly, and constant entertainment to be happy, you are a slave to those things. If they are taken away, your mind collapses. By voluntarily rejecting pleasure for its own sake, the warrior becomes anti-fragile. He proves to himself that he needs nothing. When you need nothing, you cannot be threatened. This leads us to the concept of solitude. The Dokodo is the path of aloneness. Musashi did not mean you must live in a cave, though he did. He meant you must be psychologically self-sufficient. Most people rely on the herd for their identity. They need to be liked. They need to be understood. They need to belong. This need for belonging is a weakness. It makes you conform. It makes you afraid to speak the truth. It makes you compromise your principles to avoid conflict. Musashi walked away from the path of the retainer. He did not serve a lord. He became a Ronin, a wave man, drifting without a master. This was a dangerous social position, but it granted him absolute freedom. To apply this today, you must be willing to walk alone in your decisions. If you are pursuing a goal that no one around you understands, you must not seek their approval. Seeking approval is handing your sword to someone else and asking them if it is sharp. You must know it is sharp. You must trust your own judgment. The strength of the unshaken mind comes from the realization that you are born alone and you will die alone. Everything in between is a transient dance. Musashi also warned, do not let yourself be guided by the feeling of lust or love. Again, this is often essentialized as celibacy, but the philosophical root is deeper. It is about emotional volatility. Romantic passion is one of the most destabilizing forces in the human experience. It can make a king act like a fool. It can make a disciplined man reckless. Musashi is not telling you to be a robot. He is telling you that no emotion should hold the reins of your life. You can feel love, but you must not be enslaved by it. You can feel anger, but you cannot let it dictate your strike. The mind must remain the master. The emotions are merely weather passing over the mountain. The mountain does not bow to the storm. Let us look deeper into the application of Heijo Shin in a high-stakes career crisis.
Imagine you are facing a boardroom of investors or a critical negotiation. The atmosphere is hostile. The other side is trying to intimidate you. Your heart begins to race. This is the moment to invoke the spirit of the duelist. You observe your own physical reaction. You see the shaking hand. You feel the tight chest. You acknowledge them, but you do not identify with them. You say to yourself, "My body is reacting, but my mind is flat." You widen your vision. In martial arts, this is called Enzan no Metsuke, or gazing at the distant mountain. You do not focus on the opponent's eyes or his sword. You look at the whole picture. In the boardroom, you do not fixate on the aggressive question or the angry face. You see the whole room. You see the fear in their eyes. You see the dynamics of power. By detaching and observing, you slow down time. You can hear the silence between their words. You answer calmly, without rushing. This terrifies the opponent. They expect fear. They expect defense. When they meet a calm void, they become unsettled. You have won the psychological battle before the negotiation has even finished. Musashi wrote, "In all things have no preference." This is perhaps the hardest discipline. We are bundles of preferences. We like this, we hate that. We want this outcome, we dread that outcome. These preferences create hooks for the world to snag us on. If you have a strong preference for being wealthy, you live in fear of poverty. If you have a strong preference for being praised, you live in fear of criticism. To have no preference is to be fluid. It means you accept whatever hand fate deals you, and you play it to the best of your ability. If it rains, you walk in the rain. If the sun shines, you walk in the sun. If you are rich, you use the wealth. If you are poor, you use the hunger. This is the ultimate adaptation. The man with no preferences cannot be cornered. He creates a path wherever he steps. This is the essence of the water scroll in Musashi's Book of Five Rings. Water takes the shape of its container. It can be a droplet or an ocean. It can be soft or it can crash through stone. But to be like water, you must destroy the rigidity of your ego. The ego wants to be solid. It wants to be important. Musashi, despite his fame, discarded his ego. In his final precept, he wrote, "Never stray from the way." What is the way? The way is the pursuit of truth and mastery. It is the dedication to the craft and the principles of nature. It is bigger than the individual. When you serve the way, you are no longer serving your small, fragile self. You are serving something eternal. This gives you a different kind of strength. It is not the hysterical strength of a man fighting for his life. It is the calm, crushing weight of a man fighting for a principle. When you align yourself with the way, whether that is the way of the sword, the way of the artist, or the way of the professional, you are supported by the discipline of years. Musashi's life was not a tragedy, though it was filled with death. It was a triumph of the will. He proved that a human being could transcend their animal instincts. We are biologically wired to run from danger and seek pleasure. Musashi rewired himself to run toward danger and reject pleasure. He hacked his own psychology to become a perfect vessel for action. To apply this to your life, you must start small. You do not need to move to a cave. You need to identify your dependencies. What can you not go a day without? Is it your phone? Is it sugar? Is it the validation of social media? Pick one dependency and cut it. Watch your mind react. Watch the tantrums your ego throws. This is the enemy. This whining voice in your head is the weakness Musashi destroyed. Observe it. Do not negotiate with it. Starve it. When you face a difficult task and your mind says, "I'll do it later," catch that thought. That is a stop. That is a hesitation. Cut it instantly. Move the body. Do the task. You are training the mind to obey the will. When you suffer a loss and your mind says, "This is unfair," Catch that thought. The universe is not fair. The universe simply is. Accept the new reality. Adapt. Move forward. Musashi's philosophy is not for the faint of heart. It is cold. It is relentless. It demands that you take full responsibility for your internal state. No one is coming to save you. The government, your family, your friends, they cannot enter the fortress of your mind. Only you can walk those halls. If those halls are filled with fear and clutter, you will be defeated by life. But if you sweep those halls clean, if you practice the discipline of the Dokodo, you become unshakable. You become a force of nature. The modern world is designed to keep you weak. It is designed to keep you distracted, addicted, and afraid. It wants you to be a consumer, not a creator. It wants you to be a victim, not a warrior. Musashi offers you the sword to cut through this illusion. The sword is your attention. Sharpen it, polish it. Do not let it rust in the scabbard of comfort. Every morning, you wake up to a duel. The opponent is the version of you that wants to hit snooze, the version of you that wants to complain, the version of you that wants to give up. Musashi fought 60 duels, but the 61st one was the one that mattered, the one against himself. He won that battle in the cave of Regondo. He left us the map. The map is simple, but the journey is hard. Walk alone. Accept everything. Fear nothing. This is the way of the unshaken mind. The path is open before you. The question is not whether you are capable of walking it. The question is whether you are willing to leave your weakness behind.